Hi everyone, welcome back to the AI language. So today we are looking at containers, and containers are widgets. They're basically convenience widgets that help you lay out some child widgets with certain decorations, size, alignments, etc. Right? And just to recap where we were last time, so we had already built a basic portfolio page with a title. As you can see in the bottom right corner, the title is kept inside a default app bar, which is this, which is inside a default scaffold, which is this entire thing, and which is on a portfolio page, right? And then this is the body of the scaffold, and this has a column which is called the body column, and we have two texts, the welcome text and the name text inside it. Now, as you can see that these two texts are left aligned, and now we're going to use a container to center align them on the page so that it looks a little bit better, and we're going to look at other properties of a container as well. All right. Now, before I move ahead, just to remind you that the ailanguage.com is a powerful no-code tool free for our subscribers. So you can subscribe to the YouTube channel and then access this for free. And we also have a custom GPT on ChatGPT, which you can use as an assistant to actually drive all your Flutter development over here. So if you want to look at that, there's a video link in the description that you can actually click on, and it will guide you with all the settings. So let's move ahead with containers now. So first thing that we want to do is we want to assign a container to the body. Rather than have the body column, we want the body container as the child or as the body of the scaffold. And then the container has a single child property. So we are going to assign the body column as that, right? So let's use our assistant for this, and let's see how we can do that using this assistant, right? Can you create a new container, call it the body container, and assign it as the body of the scaffold, please? And for this container, assign the child as the body column. Okay, so let's wait for the system to do its magic.
I have created the new body container and set it as the body of the scaffold with the existing body column assigned as its child. Let me know if you need any further changes.
All right, so now you see the power of the assistant, and how it helped us assign this container. So if you hover over the container now, so you can see on the bottom right corner that we have the portfolio page with a scaffold, which now has a body container that I'm hovering on. And if you go further down inside the tree, you see a body column, and then if you go further down, you see a welcome text and a name text in that column. And now you can see that the container is centering the content on the page, and so that's because the container actually is this. Let's see why it's doing that. So let's select this container, and now you can see that the name body container has been assigned by the assistant, and you have several options, values, styles, and complex properties, and the widgets, right? So the first thing we look at is the width and the height. So now over here, if you see, the width and the height are unassigned, right? So when you have not assigned these values, the container will expand to take whatever space is available, just like we saw for the main axis size in a column or a row. So over here, when we made that max, right? So now over here, you see that it's taking up the entire body. So now what I could do is that I could actually take the width down. Let's say you put a container of 200 width. So now you can see that the container has gone down in width. It's not taking up the entire space. And let's say you take up a height of, again, let's say 200. So now you can see it's a smaller container, but we don't want to do that, right? So we can set it back to, let's say, 0, and height to 0, and 0 over here is the same thing as not specifying any width and height, and it goes back to take the entire space. Then we have certain properties, very handy properties over here. So let's look at these properties one by one. So first we have an alignment, right? So alignment is used to specify how to align your content inside the container. And you see, as you see, this is a complex property. So it means that, and in Flutter, you have to define an alignment separately and then assign it to your container. And that's why we call it a complex property. So we can actually open this property by clicking on this arrow, and you see a new tab for your alignment, and you see it's a default alignment, right? So a default alignment specifies X and Y values inside a container. As you can see right now, the two values are 0 and 0. So this 0 and 0 represent in the x direction, the center of the container is 0, this is -1, and this is +1. And the y direction, the center of the container again is 0, and this is +1. I'm sorry, this is -1, and this is +1. Okay, and so now what happens is that we have a column which is expanding fully, right, which is the child of the container. So your y value is actually not relevant because the column is already at the center. You can't move it up and down. It's actually expanded to take the entire space. So we can check out how it works with the x value. So if you put x equal to -1, you see that the column goes to the leftmost possible alignment, which is to this left edge. And if you, let's say, put x equal to -0.75, it'll go somewhere in between. And let's say if you put x equal to +1, you can take it to the other side, right? So we're going to leave this at x equal to 0. And now we know that there's this alignment that is possible over here, right? So let's close this by pressing the middle mouse button or the cross over here. And next we can go to the other properties that are there, right? So we are going to go to the next property, which is decoration, which is one more important property that the containers have. And there are two kinds of decorations that you can put. You can put a background decoration, which is this property over here, and this is painted behind the child, right? So the child over here is this column and then the text, so this is going to come behind it. And there's a foreground decoration which is painted in front of the child, right? So now what I'll do is I'll ask my assistant to create a new decoration for me, right, which let's say has the background color as let's say tertiary, right? So tertiary is a color that is available in the app theme in Flutter, and I can ask it to put it as that. And let's see what it does. I'm going to put that decoration in the background first and then in the foreground, just to show that difference, right? So let's do that. Can you create a new decoration for the container? And for this new decoration, specify the color as tertiary, right? And assign it to the body container as a decoration value, please. Okay, so let's see what that does.
I've created a new decoration with a tertiary color and assigned it to the body container. Let me know if you need more adjustments or additional customizations.
Okay, so perfect. So now we can see that this decoration with the tertiary color has been assigned to the background, and we can actually refresh that by just closing it and opening it again and clicking decoration, and you can see body container decoration has been created. We can just open this in a new tab and check out the color over here. The color is tertiary, and this just shows that okay, it's specified a certain color. Like let's say I could have other colors that I could use. So let's say I use error, and error is red in the theme, so you get a red color over here. So I'm just going to put it back to let's say tertiary, right? So I'll have tertiary over here, and now I have this container with a certain color in the background. I can now look at other properties over here. So the next property is the foreground decoration. So let's say that we assign the same decoration to the foreground. So what's that going to do, right? So let's just try to see what happens. And you see that this decoration now has been applied to the foreground in front of the text, and so you cannot see the text actually. Okay, so next we have padding and margin. All right, so padding and margin is basically a way of adding some space. Padding adds that space inside this container and outside the child, and margin leaves some space outside the container box so that it's separated out from its surroundings. So let's see what that is. So if you click on padding, you see that there's an edge insets property over there that actually specifies the amount of padding. So the edge insets basically tells what amount of space you want to leave on the left, the top edge, the right edge, and the bottom edge, right? So left, top, right, and bottom edge, how much space you want to leave. So let's ask our assistant to create a new edge insets property for this container and then assign it as the padding and the margin and see how it goes. All right. Create a new edge insets property. Leave an edge, let it be 10 units on each side, left, top, right, and bottom, and then assign it as the padding to our body container, please.
I created a new edge insets property with 10 units on each side and assigned it as the padding for the body container. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like to adjust.
Okay, so now what happens is that if it's assigned this property padding, now you should see that the column should actually leave some space from the top. So let's see. Yeah, so you can see that there's a 10 unit space from the top and a 10 unit space on the bottom, and that is because that padding has come in. If the column was extending till the end, so we can actually do that. So you can check that. So let's put cross axis alignment as stretch, and now you see that that 10 units of space is left on each side, right? So we can also do this, that we can assign this as the margin and see what happens then, right? And so let me just put back the column to what it was before. I guess this was center, right? And let's close this down and let's ask our assistant to now use it as a margin. Okay, so can you assign this new edge insets property that you created as a margin rather than as a padding? So remove the padding, assign it as the margin instead, please.
I've updated the body container by removing the padding and assigning the edge insets property as the margin. Let me know if you need any further modifications.
Okay, great. So this is great. Now we can see the difference between a padding and a margin. So the margin is leaves space outside the container, right? So you can see that there's this white space outside the container. Now, since the decoration that we assign to the background is a part of the container, it also shifts down and left and right. It leaves some space outside, and you can see this white border kind of space around the container. But when you apply the padding, you don't see this because that actually just pushes the child inwards rather than the background decoration. So that is how the margin and the padding work for this container, right? And if we go ahead now with the container, we see that the next property is the child property. So the child is contained by the container, and you can just change it to anything that you want. For now, we'll leave it at body column. So those are all the properties for the containers. Thanks for watching. And in the next video, we are going to move ahead with other aspects of creating our portfolio page. For now, just to remind you, this access to this tool is free for our subscribers. So if you just subscribe to this to our YouTube channel, and you can access this tool for free. If you want to know how to set up the assistant and the tool, you can actually go ahead and look at the link in the description or in the comment, the pinned comment, and you can use that to set up this tool as well. Also remember that you can always export the code by copying it from here, and we'll do that once we actually have our portfolio page built to some extent. Also remember that we did this portfolio share last time. You can always go and see how this would look. Create a new share, take the link, and you open this on a new tab, and this is actually a live tab app now that you can actually open and check. Okay, so you can see how this looks now, and you can press Command Shift C or Control Shift C depending on your machine. You can take it to a mobile view or a web view and see how responsive it is. So thank you for watching, and see you again next time.